give them good name. Always remain a reference point. Remain exemplary. People have told me all sorts of things. People have said to me, if they've called me name, they've called me president of mourning, president of condolence, president of, and I've written them back and said, oh, he's always going to where there's burial. He's always going to burials. He doesn't even go to where there's feasting. And I always tell them, it is better to go to the house of mourning than go to house of feasting. It is these are the things that makes you a human being. When you attend burials, you know that this life is so temporal. It's what makes you a human being. You know that all those things you're acquiring, you don't need them. You should not acquire them. Especially when you're acquiring them wrongly. Those things will not last. It will not save you. So better use those things to help humanity. When you're giving public money to manage it transparently. It is for benefit of public and everything. Stay with people who are in difficulty. Don't push people down. Don't look down on anybody unless you're going to pull the person up. Let us pull each other up. Let us stay with each other. Let us show love to ourselves and show that we're a country where people live and can live together, irrespective of their tribe. All of us are suffering. The North is suffering. Southwest is suffering. Southeast is suffering. Nobody today, like I said before, buys bread cheaper. We're all in it together. And if we work hard, the bread will come cheaper for everybody. The roads will be good for everyone. Lagos Ibadan road will be good. Enugu Onitsha road will be good. Abuja Kaduna road will be good. Kaduna, all the roads will be good. If we do the right things, we'll travel together. I used to travel to London only to one airport, Kano Airport. I want to go back traveling like that. I want people to come to Port Harcourt because they want to do business, do their business and go. We can build a better country. India is too large, but today people in Delhi are okay. People in Mumbai, people in all over India are living well. And they're doing things they want to do. It's same thing in Indonesia. Yeah, go to Bali, people are okay. People are okay in Jakarta, people are okay in other areas of the country. That's what it should be. Ours should not be a case of, oh, I'm from here. Thereby, the other people should jump into the river. They shouldn't jump into the river. There's no color. There's no difference between them. We must live with them. And that's what I beg everybody. So, everything I do, I showed you about Mr. Shonakan, who I live with in a flat. He was a mother. He cared for everybody. We didn't know her as a Yoruba woman. I know her as money. My wife called her money. My children call her money. When we heard it died, everybody was feeling bad. On Thursday, I canceled everything I'm doing to go for a burial. She's been buried in London. My wife, my family, everybody will be there. So that's what we should do. That's how we should live. We shouldn't live where you say, oh, Aisha is from this place, Aisha is from there, and everything. No. It is one Nigeria. Let's be one. Let's respect each other. Anybody who tells you is happy when other people are suffering is an animal. Anybody who is eating and are happy when people are hungry, an animal. Nigeria must be careful. And we must build a better Nigeria. God bless all of you. Bless Nigeria. Bless all those who work in it. All those who are trying to make it listen. Please do not give up. Remain resolute, resilient. We will win eventually. God bless you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
or a civilian rule and illegally elected government? The leaders must stop lying to their electorate first. There's no corruption. But I have a concern. Before setting up a unit or anti-coup d'etat unit in ECOWAS, isn't it time that the African head of states or the ECOWAS head of states look into the reason why there are coup d'etats? What are the root causes of coup d'etats? Let them put their house in order first before they set up an anti-coup d'etat unit. Let them put their house in order. And I believe their house is not in order. This unit is set up to defend them and to protect them only, nobody else.
If you're looking to sell a house, listen to this. Someone told me about this website and I was able to sell my house so.
What is more coup d'etat than your national constitution gives you 2-term limit, 5 years, 2 terms. After serving 10 years, you want to change the constitution for another term. Is that not a coup d'etat? Because you feel you have the powers to do that. The soldiers have the powers to coup d'etat. That is also another coup d'etat. And they are living with them there. They are there. In the name of civilian, putting on mufti clothes, calling yourself a democrat, when you lose all the resources of your country, mislead people, torture them, imprison them, burn their businesses to us, and you call that a democracy? Mislead people, torture them, imprison them, burn their businesses to us, and you call that a democracy? Or a civilian rule and an illegally elected government? The leaders must stop lying to their electorate first. They must stop the corruption. They must stop looting our resources. They must understand that they are not a better citizen than anybody. They are given a responsibility, a role to play to help develop the countries and make sure that there is peace and tranquility and respect the constitution of the country. But this is not happening. Example is this government. This government has lied to people in 2016 that they are going only for 3 years. Was that not a lie? Who asked them to tell people that we are going for 3 years? Were they forced to say that? They went around the whole country, lied to everyone. When the people started reminding them, this is what you promised us, they threw tear gas on them. And the president is bragging, yes, when I threw tear gas in them, they never came back. Does that not anger the citizens? You throw tear gas on your people. Some of them are wounded and you stand out there and bragging that I throw them a tear gas. They never come back. That alone can anger the citizens.
The truth about it is the right honor of the mandate should achieve its mandate. P2B, the Labour Party, what we call LP. Whenever we regain our mandate, that is when the country will come as usual again. That's why the peace will be in the country.
Are you saying what is currently going on in Nigeria, where Tinubu spoke with, addressed Nigeria, that Nigeria should please endure the pain, that things will get better? How does that feel?
That man is not a leader, he's a ruler. Because he doesn't have any agenda over Nigeria. He doesn't have conscience for saying that. For how long will we continue suffering, seeing what we are seeing? Example, Seafood. They are selling fuel.
If you're an entrepreneur and you're currently building your brand, I have some serious news for you. If you haven't
639 from 511 naira to 630 naira. Things are going high. Like example again, what happened last week? School fees School fees was federal secondary school. School fees was 45,000 naira. Now increase it to 100,000. Where are we heading? Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria?
So Tinubu coming into office now means that Nigeria is not in a good state at all. Things no balance for Nigeria.
At all. Tinubu is, in fact, I don't know how to clarify. What do you call it, President Tinubu? Is not my president too. He's your president. But as far as I'm concerned, it's a slap to Nigeria.
Tinubu is a slap
to Nigeria because it doesn't have any agenda.
All the moves he has made remove the fuel subsidy to all the. When he came in, removing taxes, don't you think there's no achievement since the day he came into office, as Zoom office?
He doesn't have any agenda as far as I'm concerned. Removing subsidy is no problem of this country. We had a lot of things to solve. But he went to office, the first day of swearing in, the first statement that subsidy have gone. Then we are winner. Buy fuel 630 naira. School fees 100,000 naira. Hungry everywhere, begging. Youth are suffering. No. Tinubu cannot be my president. I can never be. So they should give us our mandate. That's what I'm asking for.
Thank you so much, sir. How is the administration?
I don't. In fact, they're all failures.
Tinubu is a failure.
Of course.
Give us your reaction. How is Nigeria treating you?
As you can see me, I've come down. I've leaned down. See how, look at my belly. So I've come down.
But I still received for your.
I still want to message you.
Yes.
Go and message you.
Yes, sir.
That if I capture him by the side,
yes.
what I will do him to do what I will do him, you will not believe his eyes.
So if you catch Tinubu,
if I capture him by the side,
for one lungu now,
I will scatter his mouth. That mouth he used to promise Nigeria, promise and fail. Is what I'm saying. If I capture him by the side, I will deal with him.
So you say if they tell me that say if you meet Tinubu for one corner,
I will deal with him properly.
You go beat her.
I will beat her.
So sir, give us your experience right now as in Nigeria.
Like
how's the country treating
you? As you can see, people are hungry. Things are not moving well.
So now Tinubu person.
Yes, of course.
All right, Didi, thank you so much.
It's been called by the central government.
So make Tinubu come out now in the talk.
Make him come out.
Are you saying Buhari better to Tinubu?
Before we say Tinubu, what is Buhari na Iron Bender, madam. Yeah. Now we don't see Iron Bender.
Iron Bender. Tinubu yes. Na Iron Bender.
Iron Bender.
All right, Didi. Thank you, sir. It's not going to get better. It's so jackpot. Is that true?
Let me tell you. Yes. It's sweet.
Nigeria is sweet now.
Yeah, Nigeria is very, very sweet. Are you not seeing that the country is sweet? Sweet. How are you feeling?
What are you enjoying? Tell us your experience.
A lot of things, my dear. To me, I don't have problem. Okay. But some people have problem. You understand? You see what happens in the court last time? Emefiele case. And because they refuse to say the truth, that is why we are having, in the case of Nnamdi Kanu, the way it reaches in Nnamdi Kanu, it will reach each one of them. You see, all these our leaders, already Nnamdi Kanu told them, go and serve and come back with shame. And they're all coming back with shame. You understand?
Tired of hiding your toenail fungus? Discover the secret to help you nail the battle with stubborn fungus.
A lot of Nigerians are happy with what is currently going on with the CBN government. Look at the cash crunch that they went to, and the man has no sympathy during. So he's also experiencing, it's like a karma.
Let me tell you, I'm the happiest person. Because there is no day I don't buy money. I buy 10,000 for 14,000 throughout that, because without that in fact I can't do anything. You know, my mind, my feeding. So they serve him better. I wish he will even get what is greater than what is passing through now. I think I'll be the happiest person.
A lot of people died during the crisis. So tell us your experience to live in Nigeria right now.
The experience we are seeing in Nigeria is that, sometimes I told you that when the rain is falling, it's not on one person's roof. What they voted is what they bargained is what they are seeing. But I never bargained for this. That is why I must be exempted.
So what are your expectations?
My expectation, let them do the right thing. Let them give Obi. Obi is the person we know.
Thank you so much for your time.
Bàbá tó wọlé ẹ má dídò mi sí bẹ́ẹ̀ kí ni mo ṣe.
Jagaban ti bàlújẹ́.
Ẹ mọ̀ pé ti bàlújẹ́ ni Jagaban tí ẹ wá wọ̀sù di àwọn Haúsá lọ. Ti Haúsá tá a mánéjì tẹ́lẹ̀. Ti Jagaban ló wá yà mí lẹ́nu ọjọ́ kankan tó wọ síìtì. Ààrẹ kò rà mọ́. Àrọ́jà àtàkòsó owó mọ́ta o. Gbogbo ìyà tó wà níta nísìn ebi fẹ́ẹ́ pọ̀ owó wo la fẹ́ fi sanwó skul ní o tí Jagaban àwọn ẹ̀yà mi lẹ́nu o ìgbà tí mo ń yọ̀ pé bọ́dà mi ti wọlé pé nǹkan gbogbo á dáa. Mo ń yọ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ náà pé bọ́dà mi ti wọlé náà pé nǹkan á dáa náà mi ìwà mọ̀ pé tiẹ̀ ló fẹ́ wọ́n dẹ̀ sọ pé ó lówó yapa tó yẹ kó pín owó fún gbogbo wa kó change nǹkan gbogbo ìyá eléyìí tilẹ̀ ó ju ti Haúsá lọ.
Ìyá rẹ̀ dọ́bù.
Ó dábò ni o.
Ẹni ìyá Jagaban.
Dọ́bù times 2 ni. Ti Buhari tó ti wá dájú tiẹ̀ lọ. Àlùbí gbọ́dọ̀ bá ti wọlé gbogbo nǹkan á da. Àwọn ọmọ mi ò lọ skul mọ́. Owó skul fìsì lásán tí wàá lọ òkè jù. Ọjà gan àlè rajà mọ́. Ráìsì tamara ní agolo 150 down to 250. Àríra àríta owó ọkọ̀ ibi tá ti ń lọ. Ibi táwọn ọmọ ti ń wọ mọ́tò lọ sí skul. Wọn ò tiẹ̀ lè lọ mọ́ wọn ò lè lọ skul mọ́. Kò tún wá sọ́jà wọn ò lè rìn mọ́. Ibi táwọn máa ń wọ̀ 50 naira tẹ́lẹ̀ ti 200 naira. Without every day by day. Èmi àtàwọn ọmọ mi ń jáde I spend more than 1,300 only going coming back no way so the suffering is too much ìyà ẹ ti pọ̀ jù kò release gbogbo price yẹ kó tó gbé lọ sókè yẹ kó release yẹ kó fi síbi tó wà tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀ káwọn náà máa gbádùn ẹ̀ tó bá jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ kò ní sinmi.
Tó bá jẹ́ bá máa bọ́ sọlẹ̀ fún a máa ṣépè fún tó bá ṣe yìí.
Ẹ máa bọ́ sẹ́lẹ̀ fún jàmbá.
A máa bọ́ sọlẹ̀ fún a máa ṣépè fún.
Ẹ máa rí owó.
Ṣé owó sọ́wọ́ sùn jọjọ bá lọ sùn lọ́wọ́ àsùn. Àrùn jẹjẹ bí pa wá bí owó tàjà. Èdè mo sọ̀rọ̀ kí tó jẹun. Tẹ́lẹ̀ mo ní àyè owó tó wá kàtó fún 300,000. This is your liver and work out tomorrow. Mo sọ̀rọ̀ kí tó jẹun.
They should make our refinery.
They should make all the refineries work. That is the problem. Because if our refinery works, fuel will not be this expensive. We are done in this country. The federal government should do something. If it is a civilized country, if it's a country known by law, governed by law, Buhari will be in prison. Yes. Because over how many billions spent on all the refineries, no one is working. All the Abacha route that was reformed, both the one that was borrowed, no one is working. So Buhari should have been in prison.
Why is this fuel subsidy now? Now, be the main problem where you get right.
My brother, the fuel subsidy is nothing to write home about. The fuel subsidy is the worst. They should do something. We are just working for the filling station owners.
You are just working for the filling station?
Yes, you are just working for the filling station owners. Nothing is coming out.
Customer know they climb bike again.
My brother, people where they climb bike, they first check whether they go, they important before they climb bike. You know they like before I just drop me here. Drop me here. They know the reason, but now before person enter bike now, you go first check where they go, whether the place is important before you go climb bike, and go first consider the money, and you go contract distance. So they say, now I'm very strong, so that the money go drop small, like what now they pay before. Now so the thing just be now.
No joy for this.
My brother, I mean like this, I no get joy. If I just get small money now, I don't jackpot. I want jackpot.
Which country you want jackpot?
My brother, anywhere where belle face na front. Anywhere people just come up for Nigeria first.
This is like Ghana.
My brother, I tell Ghana self better because their money self get value.
Okay, if you get message for Tinubu, what you want to tell him?
If I get message for Tinubu, I want to tell him, say, make you no try bring in Wike, make you no bring in Wike as minister. Any at all. Wike is a betrayer. Now we can get to tell him with that.
Man, thank you.
Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. Well, it's time now to review headlines on today's newspapers with the Ombudsman of This Day and Arise Media Group. And This Day's Newspaper Limited Group Executive Director, Kayode Komolafe. Good morning. Happy Sunday to you. You know how excited we get when you're here on
so much.
Sunday.
Good morning, Steve.
Good morning.
Great to be here again. Thank you very much.
All right, let's go straight into it. We'll start with This Day on Sunday, where there are a few interesting stories today. The lead story being Tinubu meets ECOWAS leaders today moves to restore democracy in Niger. And the three riders are quite instructive. Nigerian leader weighs option. UN, EU, AU tighten the news on military leaders. Russia's Wagner Group signals support for coup plotters. Interesting issue that that everybody has been discussing for days. On top of that lead story, court won't overrun president's victory. Economist intelligence unit predicts, says Obi will emerge formidable force in 2027. And on top of that is an issue that we have discussed in detail today. Resident doctors reject 25% salary increase by federal government. Continues strike. That's on page 6 of today's This Day. And on top of the masthead, Atiku, governors, others meet ahead of PDP's stakeholders meeting tomorrow. If you tie that with the cover picture showing Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, Dr. Yoche Ayu, and a few of the PDP people, it simply says strategizing for the future. Last but not the least is the story on the window. Nigeria will work again under Tinubu, says Shetima, who is trying to inspire. This is like an inspiration talk to many Nigerians who are feeling the pinch of the economic reforms of the last 2 months. The rider says, insist nation's fortunes will change for good in the next 12 months. But the palliatives are for between 3 to 6 months, but it says that the fortunes will change in the next 12 months. So those are the stories. KK, any hope for the common man?
Of course, there's hope for the common man.
There's renewed hope.
I like your optimism.
Yeah, I'm an incredible optimist in matters of Nigeria.
Great.
Yeah, I rather err on the side of optimism. You're right, Steve. The cover, the picture on the front page of This Day on Sunday is related to the political story, which about a strip about the meeting of PDP stakeholders, slated for tomorrow. There was another meeting, I think yesterday. I think the same story is also on the front page of The Nation.
That's right.
It's also on the front page of Tribune, and I think Punch or so. So it's, if you like, you may say it's the political story of the day. And it has to be so because we are talking about the health, the organizational health of a very important political party in the land, the People's Democratic Party, the PDP. That is the party that was once in power for 16 years in this country. So it's only natural, for people to be interested in it. But what is significant, like you see in that photograph, you have Vice President, former Vice President Atiku, the chairman of the party, Professor Yoche Ayu, another elder, Ambassador Ekimi, and the governor of Zamfara. Now, what is interesting, that is like a photo essay, more or less. Is that here you have Atiku, here you have Ayu. In the rift between Wike used in generic terms. Now that is the Wike camp of PDP. Ayu, appears to be the issue. In fact, Ayu appears to be the last straw. That broke the camel's back. In the rift. Now, but in the meeting, a lot of hope. Therefore, talking of hope again, will be pinned by PDP stakeholders against the meeting for tomorrow. But if what happened at the weekend, in the preparatory meeting, if it's anything to go by, it means that the party has to do a lot of work in order to be able to heal the wounds within, and in doing so, may have a hard nut to crack. Now that Wike is already nominated by President Tinubu as a minister. And the story is that some of the stakeholders are saying that he will either be in PDP or be a minister of in an APC government, you know, that it will not be allowed to eat his cake and have it, you know, as they say. Now, but then it just shows that in the coming days, you know, more news will come from the house of PDP. The other story, like we said, which is the story not just nationally but internationally, you know, that's a bit of interest, is the coup in Niger.
There is good news. Labour Party submitted more than 10,000 copies of Forms EC8A, being copies of their own party agents. This will hopefully put to end the constant question, why didn't Labour Party submit their own political party agents to prove they won? You can see that they submitted 3 types of documents. The ones that INEC gave them, copies from IREV, and the physical copies, the ones that are referred to as hard copies, plus their own party agent copies. Before we analyze all this, let's update you on happenings at the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal. The respondents were supposed to submit their final addresses yesterday, and yes, they did that, but it was done after the close of work. So no party can actually get the certified true copies from the court so that people can see what they wrote inside, how they replied to the many questions and issues raised by the petitioners. And without seeing what they wrote inside, how they replied, no one can make any analysis. So that will be hopefully on Monday when work will resume at the court. And on Tuesday, all parties will assemble in the court for the adoption of addresses. After the adoption of addresses, the court will either state the judgment day or they will communicate it after. Yes, when the court adjourns after the adoption of addresses, they will only reconvene to deliver judgment. It is not expected to be more than 2 weeks. They will deliberate on many issues, on all the prayers sought by the petitioners. The petitioners include PDP, Labour Party, and the APM. So it will take quite some time for them to go through all the evidence, all the reliefs one by one, and how they apply and interpret the law. The work of the judges is to interpret the law, but lawyers also help them to form their opinion. They also conduct their own research. If you look at all the final addresses by the petitioners' counsels, you will see that a lot of research went into writing the documents. And a lot of people might be confused how many addresses the respondents have to make. Well, it's very simple. The petitioners, Labour Party, PDP, APM, brought INEC, Tinubu, APC, and Shetima to court. So after the hearing stage, the respondents had to address the court. They had to go through all the issues raised by the petitioners. They had to address them one by one. All the arguments they raised against what the petitioners said are contained in their first final address. And after that final address, the petitioners now have the right to reply to all the issues they themselves have raised. So after the petitioners have countered the respondents will now have a final opportunity to respond to their counter, which was exactly what they did yesterday. They submitted their final address. That's the final response to what the petitioners countered. Yes, and at this stage, it stops. The court will now take it from there. They will look at all the issues raised by all the parties to find out who has the superior argument based on the points of law. They will now enter into serious deliberations, to determine all the questions, all the reliefs sought by the petitioners, to see their merits based on law and the evidence before them. Now, let's look at the impact of the more than 10,000 copies of Forms EC8A that Labour Party tendered in evidence, alongside the more than 18,000 copies from IREV that are blurred that INEC stamped and certified and gave them. INEC should have replaced those blurred copies with the hard copies that they claim to have used in collating the results. But they didn't, despite some of these results being blank, as in plain sheet of paper. They just stamped all of them. But Labour Party actually turned their strategy around to their own advantage. The reason I felt simple. They don't want to bring the evidence that will prove that they did the wrong thing in court. This is why if you read their final reply, you will see that they are arguing that Labour Party failed to prove they won the election, that they believe that the plea has been abandoned by Labour Party. So their strategy was withhold evidence, starve the petitioners the evidence that they need to prove their case, and tell the court, oh, they failed to prove they won. But it backfired seriously because Labour Party now told the court, since uploaded results on IREV are the same thing with hard copies, then whatever INEC certified and brought to court should be taken as the real thing. Yes, even their witness accepted it under cross-examination. So Labour Party turned their strategy around to their own favor. If the court agrees that truly, yes, they are the same copies, so if you submitted blank copies and blurred copies, that means the results can't stand because no one can collate any result without seeing the figures. Now, back to how we discovered this massive evidence tendered by Labour Party in court. INEC, in one of the objections that they made about the admissibility of some of the documents tendered by the Labour Party, while going through the objections, they made these objections while making their final address. In paragraph 2.05, they said, as earlier stated, the exhibits in question, that is, purported certified copies of forms EC8As, EC8Bs, EC8C, EC8Ds, and EC40Gs issued to the petitioner's respective agents, both from the polling unit level, ward level, local government level, and state level, were all tendered from the bar. We submit that there is no evidence on record that those documents were made by those through whom they were tendered before this honorable court. So in essence, they are just fishing for technicality. They are telling the court that since Labour Party did not call those party agents or the polling officers who wrote the results or the collation officers who wrote them and gave the Labour Party agents their own copies, that they should be the ones to speak to the documents in court in evidence. Yes, it's quite laughable. They couldn't defend anything. They couldn't counter the results that Labour Party submitted. They couldn't even replace the blurred copies. In some cases, they were just blank copies, empty sheets. So since they failed to counter any of the results, the court will definitely make their decision based on the results before them. And they are thinking that, hey, since we didn't submit, the court will say, you failed to prove. The entire proof is before the court. So in essence, on Labour Party's side, what they did was to provide majority of the results that are hidden in the more than 18,000 blurred copies. So based on average vote in this presidential election per polling unit, it's about 140 to 150 votes. So let's just make it a flat figure. About 10,000, let's assume that Labour Party got 100 per polling unit. That's already more than 1 million votes that were hidden by INEC. So despite the fact that the petitioners have proved non-compliance by INEC in a substantial way, the court might also look at the fact that Labour Party actually won the election. That the reason INEC blocked upload of result sheets on election day was because they wanted to block the votes of Labour Party.
If you would like to make your child a math champion with guaranteed results without draining your wallet, then you're on the right.
So you can see the reason why they provided their own copies is to prove to the court that INEC didn't even use hard copies to collate the results. So if the law says upload results to IREV for comparison at different collation levels, and you fail to do that, and you come to court and say it was a glitch that prevented you from following the law, that despite not following the law, that it didn't affect the results because you used hard copies. And with the evidence before the court, you didn't collect the results with the hard copies because they don't tally. So in this instance, what will the court do? They will simply work with the evidence before them. Assuming they decide not to cancel the election, despite seeing that there was substantial non-compliance by INEC, Yes, the non-compliance affected the outcome of the election. We are talking about up to 20 million votes unaccounted for by INEC. Upon all the people that came out to register for their PVC, upon the massive crowds that came out on election day to vote, they still could not account for more than 20 million votes. The people voted. It's not that they didn't vote. The evidence is there that they voted, but INEC cannot account for them. They didn't bring evidence. They just brought blood results. Assuming many of these places that are blood are the strongholds of Labour Party. Sometimes when you see results from strongholds of Labour Party, it will seem as if the other parties are not even in the race. Sometimes you see Labour Party scoring 600, while the second party will be about 10 or 20. These number of votes, although they didn't release them, might be up to 2 or 3 million for the Labour Party alone. So we don't know. Also, the respondents don't have them because definitely when they are tendering this evidence, they will just serve them the summary before tendering so that they will know what they are tendering in court. So the respondents don't have the numbers. If they had, one of them must have mentioned it in one of their replies. That's sure. So if the court decides not to cancel the election because of the cost implication of conducting a fresh election, they will simply work with all the evidence before them. None of the respondents countered any evidence tendered by the petitioners. Yes, it's surprising. Imagine agreeing that the passport has expired. So for that reason, that the citizenship has also expired. Imagine that kind of argument. So just like they didn't even argue anything about the forged certificate, no counter, nothing like, hey, no, that's not real. That's not his. He didn't submit this. Nothing like that. Someone accused you of forging a certificate. You have nothing to say except submit school records. It is completely irrelevant. So they failed to counter anything. Even the forfeiture, they kept arguing that it was a civil forfeiture. Meanwhile, the petitioners didn't say that it was a criminal forfeiture. They were saying that truly it's a civil, but based on money laundering and narcotics trafficking. So it will take a miracle for them to escape this. All the evidence tendered by the petitioners, none of them, they didn't counter any one of them. Many people don't understand what is going on. You see, the disqualification of Tinubu is no longer a matter of if, it is a matter of when. Yes, it is that solid. The evidence is overwhelming, none was countered, and the judges must form their opinion based on what is before them. They must work with the evidence. They must calculate the figures that Labour Party submitted, that INEC hid in the blood copies. They must add everything together. Of course, they must have done the work for them so that they can now say, yes, this is the person that actually came first. We are adding all the figures together. They hid them, they did that. So the judgment day definitely will be celebration all over Nigeria. Thanks for watching.
Greetings, everyone. Greetings. Welcome, everybody. Happy Sunday to you. Thanks for joining me again today. I'm sure you guys are familiar with everything that has been trending on the news. Hey, oh my goodness. Hey, when you don't have good leader, you become a laughing stock on outside. Look at how see na General Tiani of Niger Republic tell una imposed Baba Blue. He say your government is legitimate. Everybody knows, everybody, the whole world knows. Your government is illegitimate. I will not listen to you, who you be. And now he's consulting with the UN, the US to join to back up. Ah, God. African leaders, when will they learn? Did it have to come? Did they have to give opportunity for coups to be taking place again? When greed and gluttony, they are puppets to their masters, why won't this kind of things be happening? Why won't you are criticizing people for rejoicing about coups? What do you expect? If you did not do the needful, are you a baby? They give you your country, your own country, to manage. Instead, you don't manage it. Instead, you join with outsiders to loot your country blind. The uranium in your on your soil is what is fueling, that's what's giving light to another country. But your own country is impoverished. You don't see anything wrong with that. Eh? You do not see anything wrong with that. Your people are impoverished, but now they get the uranium when other people they use to power their energy. They call that one and make come account for how they take thief the money, they cry. When you do not do the right thing in the first place, what do you expect? For people to fold their hands and continue? You want to continue this nonsense forever? It cannot continue. Every day for the thief, one day for the owner. African leaders are the most horrible people. They don't care about they are just puppets. All they care about is acquiring millions upon millions upon millions, using the money to do things that is only to please self, nothing for their people. Nothing for any of their people, and you expect that coups are not going to happen. They will happen. They will continue to happen, unfortunately. There's a lot of conversation going on now about this whole thing. A lot of conversations going on right now about it. Africa. Agbado is busy hopping up and down. He's talking to this person. He's talking to that person. He's having conversation with this, having conversation with that. Now today, you go have conversation, you go tire. You go get conversation, you go tire. You people think it's the same. You think that you're going to continue to do the same thing. You think that people will just fold their eyes and be looking at you to put your hand in their eye. Treat your people well, you won't. Feed your people, no, you won't. All you do is acquire. You think payday is not going to come. Everybody's just going to keep looking at you, getting all the rubbish that you've been getting away with. It doesn't work like that. You're dealing with human beings. It can only go on for so long. It will not continue forever. It won't. You people have had decades upon decades to learn and get it right. But no, you won't. Look at the one talking. It's you in your country, you not win your own election. You want to be doing agidi. You want to go and be showing power. Oh my God. Look at what is happening in Adamawa. Because of hunger, the citizens they've gone to the warehouses to take food. What kind of madness? What kind of leaders are these? What kind of politicians are these that are inhumane? Because of hunger, people are now going to warehouses to go and be helping themselves with food. They are dying of hunger. For goodness sake, Africa, Nigerians. You don't know how to run a government. You are clueless. Look at you. You came on a life where the owner of the vision, you want to see whether he will drop crumbs for you, whether you see something to hold on to. You are looking for a way to nail the man. You will not see. You won't find nothing. You will not find anything to nail this man. You don't have any ideas. You don't know how to run a nation. Look at it. It's deplorable. The place is going down. Country is going down. People are starving every day. Hunger. They finish people. They know they see food chop again. Hunger don't twist people stomach backwards. What is wrong with African leaders? When will you people learn? When? In case you don't know, you think that you're going to continue to treat the people the way you want and expect them not to push back. It's only a matter of time. Why would they not loot government warehouses? Why? It's food that they are going to look for. Why are they setting the security over these people? Now they don't buy 4 people. Instead of okay, hunger, okay, let them take. Open the warehouse, let them take. Is it not their food? What are you keeping it in the warehouse for? If it's not wickedness, what are you keeping it in the warehouse for? Evil, demonic leaders. What are you keeping it in the warehouse? People are literally dying on top of hunger. You will not let them collect the food. Only in Africa, Nigeria is no exception. Thieves. You won't care for your people, you won't take care of them, you won't do the needful. On top of it, you have terrorists striking people, abducting people. Nothing is done.
Ịrụọrụ injinia ọrụ ị ga-ama mmadụ egwu ijelu injinia ozi ị ga-enwe ego dị egwu ijelu injinia ozi ị ga-enwe ego dị egwu ị makwa ịchọkwa injinia okwu ị ga-adị nkenka nkịrịka 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 nkenka nkenka mgbe a ga-eji ọrụ dị egwu.
Can't take this. These Niger people are so disrespectful. These people, they're very disrespectful. They don't even allow APC supporters to celebrate one. You get people way past Nigeria for savage. And the wrong person incompetence for face.
Hey!
As they make Nigeria ECOWAS chairman, APC they shout, Muna they go cut down. I will be the chairman now. Muna go see what it be action. ECOWAS will balance. As Baba makes statement, talk say, we will not allow illegitimate to continue in Africa.
We will not allow coup after coup. West Africa separation. We will take this up seriously with African Union and to the European Union and Britain and America take it up. It's a challenge. Yes, democracy is very tough to manage, but it's the best form of government. And we also ascribe to it. We should make a pledge here that in furtherance of our region's economic recovery and growth, we will commit to democracy and promote democracy and rule of law. I am with you. In Nigeria, we are back. Thank you, and thank you very much. We must bite back. We can't sit like toothless bulldog and ECOWAS. For the confidence reposed in me, I pledge to you, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, that I will do my best. I am just new. This is my first. I'm giving a surprise package. We work collectively to pursue inclusive economic integration of West Africa, sub-region. We should serve a warning to exploiters that our people have suffered enough.
ABC supporters, they shout, yes! When I see what they tell you now, that's what we call leadership. He's taking action. They never allow make it reach 2 weeks. They carry out kill. That's so disrespectful. At least allow the person enjoy his statement. Hi guys.
Sorry. Sorry.
First of all, I want to thank all the obedience. You know, say, as obedience, they follow up this illegitimate declaration in Nigeria, say they put person where no be. You go to say the thing no get impact. But not only Nigeria, they watch them now, the whole world. See, as they go, this South African broadcasting correspondent, where they ask, tell us, say, how far about ECOWAS now? Now one be like, say, she even gets 3 months. She talks, say, ECOWAS is not as strong as it used to be because the chairman now, he's facing a lot of problem too in Nigeria because they are questioning his legitimate as a president. Say, as he made his statement about Africa, go and watch the comments. What is there is people questioning his own legitimate as a president. And they tell us, say, after all, you too, you enter there legitimately.
The neighboring country of Niger, Mali, we've just seen now that the US there also have placed sanctions on some of the military officials. What does this all mean then for the ECOWAS region?
It's quite unstable right now. And unfortunately, you have the chair currently, it's Nigeria, and the president of Nigeria, he's also facing a lot of pressure in his country in terms of how the election panned out, in terms of the results. Some questioning the credibility of the elections. He issued a strong statement yesterday, but already when you read the reaction to that statement, people were already saying, you yourself, you are not legitimate. And therefore, this time around, ECOWAS is not as strong as the ECOWAS that we are used to. You'd recall when there were challenges in the region previously, they were quick to react and to respond. And there was that credibility because those who were speaking at that time, who were leading the regional body, had credibility. But right now, it's on a very shaky ground.
Nobody is coming again, eventually.
Now, the same APC where they shout say ECOWAS will sit. When they shout say ECOWAS is nothing. So you can't tell ECOWAS be anything.
You have to have capacity.
Immediately ECOWAS become nonsense. Yeah, this obedient movement is that the best thing will not happen for Nigeria.
You have to have capacity.
The best thing will not happen for Nigeria that this obedient movement. Because for people where they shout say obedient, why they should forget about this thing and go about their business. The election is over. You're telling person you get people where live America. Abroad, all the sides in abroad, come back Nigeria just to make sure say they vote. When I play, you go tell the person say, "I'm not make the person just fold the house." But I don't know the people who say will be obedient. Intellectuals, we know the people who get PhD. These people are not the normal regular people where you see on the street where they do. People with intellectual, kind obedient. When I take over my business, I beg. Anybody who obedient talk say okay. We're there for you. It's over.
You don't make them.
You don't make them. To tell yourself, even this P2B movement, you just be like say anybody. If you align yourself with P2B carry grace, you're going to progress in life. Your life going to take shit. People wait talk say they go show obedience. Shege. And then now they see. Mamma mia.
Oh my God. Good morning, Isaiah. Welcome. Let me read this. Let me share this article with us here. So apparently, the West African leaders. Let me know if you guys can see my screen. Can you guys see my screen? Can I get a yes? Okay, I'm gonna assume that you guys can see my screen. So it says here, West African leaders meet in Abuja as Niger coup leaders warn against military intervention. Oh God. As West African leaders gather Sunday this is from Parallel Facts. As West African leaders gather Sunday in Abuja for an emergency conference to decide on future moves to pressure the army to restore constitutional order following a coup last week, military authorities in Niger have warned against any armed intervention in the country. These people should not use their hand to go and cause problem. They should not use their hand, though. The end of corruption has come. They should not use their hand because the heads of state of the 8-member West African Economic and Monetary Union and the 15-member Economic Community of West African States will meet in Nigeria and have the option, I believe they're already in Abuja, of suspending Niger from their institutions. Well, wouldn't they give them that would actually maybe make them self-entrepreneurial, develop their own thing, cutting off access to regional financial market and central bank or closing borders. Man, all these things not dey work again. The leaders of West Africa are concentrating on measures to reinstate Laye, where they demand who was deposed by Tiani, proclaimed the new ruler. Leaders of Niger issued a warning prior to the conference on Sunday. In a statement read out on state TV on Saturday night, junta spokesperson Colonel Amadou Abdramain stated that the purpose of the ECOWAS meeting was to approve a plan of aggression against Niger through an impending military intervention. in Niamey in cooperation with other African nations that are not members of ECOWAS and some Western nations. We want to remind ECOWAS or any other adventurer once more of our firm determination to defend our homeland, he said. On Saturday evening, it's pretty long, but I think I can run through it. On Saturday evening, Junta released a second statement urging residents of the capital to walk to the streets at 7 a.m. local time to oppose ECOWAS and express their support for the new military authorities. Many of Niger's neighbors and international allies denounced the military takeover and asked that Bazoum be reinstated. They have also refused to recognize the new government. Although the European Union, France, and others claim to still recognize Bazoum as the rightful president, and he has been able to speak to some top foreign figures, Bazoum has not been heard from since he was imprisoned within the presidential palace early on Thursday. Financial assistance and security coordination with Niger were terminated on Saturday by European Union and France. Joseph Borrell, the EU's in charge of foreign affairs, announced the sanctions by stating that the European Union does not recognize and will not recognize authorities from the push in Niger, adding that Mohamed Bazoum remains the only legitimate president of Niger and urging for his quick release. The African Union demanded that the soldiers return their barracks and re-establish constitutional order within 15 days in a statement following an emergency meeting on Friday. What would occur after that was not specified. The news will come as a shock to Niger, which has been a significant beneficiary of help from the West, particularly the EU and the US as an ally in the struggle against Islamic insurgencies, who put them there in the first place, that have been causing instability in the larger Sahel region. In a sizable desert nation with security concerns, many people in the international community see the government of Niger as a fortress against Islamist terrorism, despite having to withdraw from neighboring Mali in recent years. France will keep 1,500 soldiers in Niger. The future of the deployment could be in jeopardy if Bazoum is overthrown. Can you guys not see through all of this? Can you guys not see through all of this? Yeah? Hey, my goodness. Ay! Oh, boy. African leaders. Meanwhile, is it NLC, I mean, at TUC, they go, the NUC and TUC, NLC or NUC, I can't go, whichever one, they are declaring nationwide strike coming soon. Stay tuned. Oh my God, I don't have any option but to laugh for my people. So please forgive me if my laughing is annoying you. I just have to laugh with the mess that's going on. Eh? Now, people are commenting, using military force to dislodge a military government in a country larger than the size of Nigeria is not going to be a tea party. ECOWAS should be careful not to be pushed and left alone in the Sahara Desert. The West interest is Ukraine, not Niger. Thank you very much, Senator Shehu Sani. Thank you. It's not Niger Republic. They don't care about the casualties. They really do not care about you, Africa. Hey. Hey. See, the Niger coup leaders, they don't warn against military intervention as Africa meets in Abuja. They say we want to once more remind ECOWAS or any other adventurer of our firm determination to defend our homeland. Abemona leave Nigeria. We see they manage our own. We dey wait for judiciary. We dey come talk. See demonstration in Niger. Make a show now. Now wow. African leaders. I don't understand. They go just put them as puppets for there. They go just dey do their paymasters on top of money. On top of money. Let me quickly read the article. Demonstration in Niger. Supporters of military takeover in the Niger Republic in their thousands gather outside the French embassy in Niamey, the capital of Niger. The demonstrators condemned the action taken by France against the military junta. And media reports that the peaceful demonstration later turned violent. Paris condemns the violence in front of the embassy, calls the authorities to ensure its security in Niger. ECOWAS member countries are meeting this. I beg you. To hear what? See? Instead of them to give the people wetin dem vote for, they threat when no hold water. When people are tired, people that are hungry, starving, they already kukuma kpain anyway. You people who are not threatening what? People don't care anymore. Now see hey, when they go dey tell these people, they don't dey hear what gluttony, everything. They want to chop everything with they want chop their children own, and their grandchildren, and the ones yet unborn. Oh, they want chop all join. They want to chop everything. They use all the fingers and toes till they chop. Nothing go remain. Abeg come dey do dry threatening. People wey dey kpai already on top of food. People wey already don dey kpai on top of hunger. Abeg look at it. See them for Abuja. Make I show una. They dey Abuja. They are meeting in Abuja. I'm telling you, right? What you're saying is Atlantic says what I'm saying is Libya 2.0. Yep. So this is looking like the West is going to push ECOWAS to intervene militarily and then run away. I'm telling you, they will abandon them. It's their people that will buy. It is their people. The West will consign them. All they not to send drones. There will be no loss on their part. People when they try to secure Ukraine, people when they fight for Ukraine, then you say get time to come they fight for your people. They go push the enter, they go abandon them. These African leaders saying Jesus, dumb people, real puppets, now they be. God. Greed will never let African rulers see the light of day. Who did this to? I'm telling you. They are not it's the ones that force themselves in Atlantic. No, they talk like that. Don't you see the election? Who voted for the people there now? Who voted for them? You yourself know it was a clear win. Nobody is cursed. It is the people who is the wicked, the greedy, the gluttonous leaders who force themselves in. Those are the ones that are cursed. Those are the ones that are the puppets. Are you not Nigerian? Don't you know better? If you're given the position to treat your people well, are you going to do the same thing? All this generalization of black people. No. Personally, me, I'm not. I don't know about you. Speak for yourself, but don't classify. Don't group us all together. Nobody curse anybody. Now, the greedy people, the gluttonous ones, when they impose themselves and nobody get the spine to speak up and say, no, you're not going to impose yourself. Those are the people we should be addressing, not the generality of the Africans. They are good, decent. Is Peter Obi not an African? Well, how different? Well, why is he different? Not be the same Nigeria they take born am. Abeg my brother, no dey generalize Obiko. Exactly. The kukuma don't deny illegitimacy. They've denied it. They've denied his legitimacy. Who are you? Who you be? Who you be? You are an illegitimate president anyway. Everywhere they know. Everywhere. Everywhere they know. I've never seen terrible leaders like this. What is it? You are not even thinking. No, they can't think anyway. Money, no, they let them see roads. As if that is all there is to life. Look at them. Look at them in Abuja. Look at them. See them. Mumu people. Look at them. Useless leaders. Look at them. Puppets. The West is just using them for puppets. Let them say they arrange themselves. Play this man. See as this God, see African man. My goodness, look at this man. Fine man. Look at him. Mali. One Burkina Faso. I'm sorry. Look at him. Africa must rise. See as the man. Oh God.
Les questions que mes générations se posent sont les suivantes, si je peux me résumer. C'est de ne pas comprendre comment l'Afrique, avec tant de richesses sur notre sol, avec une nature généreuse, de l'eau, du soleil en abondance, l'Afrique est aujourd'hui le continent le plus pauvre. L'Afrique est un continent affamé. Et comment se fait-il que les chefs d'État traversent donc le monde à mendier? Voici des questions que nous nous posons et que nous n'avons pas de réponse jusque-là. Nous avons l'occasion de tisser de nouvelles relations. Et j'espère que ces relations puissent être les meilleures pour donner un meilleur avenir à nos peuples. Pour ce qui concerne le Burkina Faso, aujourd'hui, nous sommes confrontés depuis plus de 8 ans à la forme de manifestation la plus barbare, la plus violente du néocolonialisme, de l'impérialisme. L'esclavage qu'on tend encore à nous imposer.
You guys hear what he said now? You guys heard? Everybody's fighting. Everybody's sick and tired. All Africans are sick and tired of this same rotational. You don't care for your people. You don't care. You don't give everybody. You don't care about your people. Nothing. No hospitals, no good roads, nothing. You leave your people empty. It's madness now. Now that they're pushing back the best way they know, you are not turning around. You want to join with your puppets. Are you guys ready for this thing that you guys are prepping for? Because it's easy for you people to hop in the aircraft and run away. I remember watching the movie Idi Amin when I was much younger then, right? When the whole Kasala bus, Idi Amin enter helicopter, come out too. He said, if anybody asks where I've gone, tell them I've gone to Lulu. I will be coming back soon. The guy ran. I still remember that line. I never forget. Idi Amin run, come out for a country where Kasala bust. African leaders know they think at all. They know they care. They don't care about their people. These people don't care. Now Ukraine that they think about. That's where their mind is. That's where their interest lies. You will not allow them to gather all of you together to use you against your own people. You loot from your people, you take it to them. You suppress your people. The minerals that come from your soil, your people don't benefit from it. Instead, it is benefiting others, outsiders. They've been having strife in Africa, different parts of Africa for God knows how long, unrest that has no end because of resources. You guys don't stand for your people. You don't care about them. Matter of fact, now you even dey show them the way to where your people dey to cause more destruction. As long as they make you billionaire, you are okay. Everybody can go and hit their head on the wall. It cannot continue, African leaders. It cannot continue. Can't. Since you don't want to learn, it can't continue. Abeg, let me share this. Can't continue. People are tired, they're exhausted. If hunger no kpai dem, terrorists go kpai dem. Wetin you want make dem do?
Studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5.
The general behind Niger's dramatic coup has declared himself the new leader.
Wait a minute. God. I'm sorry, my people. I have to make a comment on this. So there's a foreign news that passes through that channel taps from to bring African news. Make that make sense. Please make that make sense.
Leader of the country. Known as Omar Tiani, he staged a takeover which started on Wednesday when the Presidential Guards unit he led seized the country's leader. President Mohamed Bazoum is thought to be in good health and still held captive by his own guards. The Interior Ministry of Niger's new ruling junta has banned all public demonstrations after supporters of the coup set fire to the ousted president's party headquarters. The coup has been roundly condemned by international actors, including the African Union, West African Regional Bloc, the EU, and the UN.
On Wednesday, Africa suffered a serious setback in its democratic gains as the aspirations of the people of Niger for constitutional democracy were subverted by an unconstitutional change of government that deposed Mohamed Bazoum, a democratically elected president. The Republic of Kenya joins the rest of the world to condemn in the strongest terms this unconstitutional act that subverts democracy through a coup d'etat and calls for the immediate release of President Mohamed Bazoum, who is reportedly seized by members of the Presidential Guard.
Egypt's president has urged Vladimir Putin to renew the deal, allowing Ukraine to export grain at a summit the Russian president is hosting. Abdel Fattah al-Sisi said it was essential that the deal be revived and called for an urgent solution to supply the poorest African countries. Russia quit the deal last week and has since bombed.
I don't understand. Don't we have grain in Africa enough to feed ourselves? That's a question. No? We don't get enough grain. Why do we have to rely on Russia to supply grain? African leaders, God forbid. God forbid these humans. My goodness. Shame at every turn. How is it that Africa, that is the food basket of the world, and now has to rely on Russia for grains? Please make that make sense. Which grain Russia get when it pass our own? I don't say they get their own grain, no, and I'm not trying to downsize what they have. Just my point. My point is say we get access, fertile land, nothing we not get for Africa. Why do we have to rely on grains?
Bombed Ukraine's Black Sea ports. Mr. Putin said the West was not keeping its side of the bargain and has offered Russian grain to 6 African countries. Donald Trump has been accused of pressuring an employee to delete security footage at his Florida home in new criminal charges related to his alleged mishandling of classified files.
Nigerian news, I go back. African news,
Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis says Greece needs to take more steps to combat the...
I'm sorry, my people. I can see. Maybe that's where it ends. So I don't know. Maybe the African news, where they don't talk for front. So. Okay, that's it. Hey, God. Let me play this video for you guys. This is crazy. Hey!
Na yi gwamna kuma yaro na ita ce za ta shugabanci kwamitin shari'a majalisa.
Ni ma na yi gwamna kuma na yi halin beraye. Yanzu yarinya ta ita ce shugaban kwamitin Niger Delta a majalisa.
Ji waɗannan. To ni na yi minista kuma na yi gwamna kuma yanzu ɗana shine shugaban kwamitin kula da harkokin bankuna a majalisa. Ni Malam Talaka ɗana ne shugaban masu sauta muku akwatin zaɓe. Na yi gwamna kuma yaro na ita ce za
Generations of suffering. See, let me read what it was on top. Our parents were oppressed. We're also oppressed. It will be a tragedy for us to allow our children to also be oppressed. Politics must be everyone's business until we get a critical mass that can focus and ensure politics is done for the greater good than for a few. Children of Nigeria's poor men are also accomplishing by snatching ballot boxes. Because now they use poor people children do with that. They use their taste snatch. That's what they are good for snatching ballot boxes while they position their children. Oh my God, Nigeria. Hey, judiciary. Now you all of us they look right now. Now all of us they look right now. Okay, judiciary. Now we they look right now, because now go determine whether this union will continue or not. Because this thing now it be like play. Me, I hear that DSS is pressurizing judiciary. I saw it somewhere. Let me see if I can find it and pull it up. DSS and APC, they are pressurizing. Serious pressure is with these people. They are pressurizing them to for the judiciary to give judgment in favor of APC. Hey, God. They pressurize judiciary to give judgment in favor of APC. They are pressurizing. Pressure is on. Pressure. Judiciary. So it's up to you to do the right thing. If you want to do the right thing, if you want this union to continue, do the right thing. Because it's not funny anymore. Everywhere. Hey, congratulations to Davido. I heard he just had a baby boy. Congratulations. So please, they should keep that child away from social media. Keep their lives away from social media. Be cool. And live their lives quietly, enjoying and rocking everything they have. They pressurize. Meanwhile, Lai Mohammed, and I know say they don't hire Lai Mohammed. Don't get new position now for UN. I think I mentioned it yesterday. Meanwhile, Shetima told Russia that Nigeria will under Tinubu's watch, Nigeria will work. people they drag them for Twitter. They say which work you want work. Now they lie you, because Tinubu stole a mandate that is not his own. So there's no way Nigeria can be good. Tinubu that was on Peter Obi's live yesterday to come collect sense from the visionary man, the person wey get the mandate. He can't collect am from am. Na him dem wan talk am. Na him dey talk say go work, say the Nigeria go work for him time. He can't work. The man has nothing in his head. Surrounded by thieves, just like himself, loyalists, just like himself. What are we talking about? These people don't have anything to offer. The Nigerians, they don't. They don't have anything to offer Nigerians at all. Let's learn more about this general Abdulrahman. I'm interested in this African news now because Niger is just right next door to us, for crying out loud. Niger is just right next door to Nigeria. There's a as this thing dey drag, so as this thing dey come, so if he hey, cannot use my mouth talk am o, but omo, it's drawing close. So Niger is our neighbor now. He hails from West Niger region, which borders Mali. Oh wow, okay. He heads the elite presidential guard unit since 2011. Wow. General Tiani is a decorated soldier and popular among Niger troops. Wow. So 2000, he had 12 years to watch and monitor everything. Niger Command extends support for coup. Wow. Wow. Look at the people, though. They're excited.
The current security approach has failed to secure our country, despite the heavy sacrifices made by Nigerians and the appreciable and appreciated support of our external partners.
No,
No, the results have not lived up to our expectations, and we can no longer continue with the same approaches proposed to date, at the risk of witnessing the gradual and inevitable disappearance of our country.
inéluctable de notre
I hope they take care of their people. That's the only thing. Where African Union, where you people, where una dey, where all these people dey suffer? When all the citizens are suffering, where are you people? Why don't you come out and announce and talk and shout like you're doing right now? When the people are suffering, you guys are nowhere to be found, though.
Very good morning. I spoke yesterday with President Bazoum. I don't know exactly where he is, but he was detained He told me he was well, but he told me that the situation was very serious. And that is the reason why I made today a very strong appeal, not only for him to be immediately released, but not only that, for the democratic institutions to be reestablished.
For your interest, right? For your interest, for you people's interest to be established, of course.
I spoke again this morning here with President Bazoum. I've spoken as well with former President Issoufou, spoken with other colleagues, including our French colleagues. Our team has been deeply engaged with multiple countries in the region, as well as critical organizations like ECOWAS, like the African Union. And we are united in condemning the actions that have taken place in Niger, calling for the immediate release of President Bazoum, calling for the immediate restoration of the democratic order in Niger.
Democratic order not they work for everybody. You know, democracy not work. You don't fail though.
Email exchanges from inside the BBC, they talk about the risk of violating Indian laws. It's easier to rake up the freedom of speech debate, but does it give anyone a free pass to knowingly violate the law? America supports India because it needs India's support in return. And India is working with the US because it suits India's interests. This is how geopolitics works. Last night, he diffused a crisis with his defense minister. But today, Netanyahu was confronted with a new problem. His cabinet seems to have rebelled against him. The UK is looking at the Indian subcontinent to fill its coffers. That India seems to be negotiating from a position of power, like a partner and not a former colony.
Now so it's supposed to be.
The US and Russia are dangerously close to an armed conflict. This year, 2023, New Delhi will be the capital of global diplomacy. For a country as diverse as ours, with 88% of the population illiterate, it was a very big deal to write a constitution, and that too, the world's largest. Meanwhile, if we may, here's a Republic Day gift from India for the BBC. A list of suggestions for the BBC for their upcoming documentaries. Number 1, the Kohinoor and the colonial loot. Number 2, an outdated monarchy and unhealthy obsession with the royals. Number 3, racism in 2023.
Violence, man. Asante says, I remember, you think the military always takes it? My brother, you know, the history of military takeover for Nigeria has not been fun. No, we will not forget. All them Abacha, Babangida. Babangida, they bring about 419. They increase fraud for Nigeria. Abacha come loot. Previous go on. Oh my goodness, forget. All those people. I can't forget to. Military rule, man, it was, I think the one that even had some level of decency was the Diagbon Buhari na vibe. When I be VP, it was just like titular head, but Diagbon they run things that time. I don't know if my memory serves me correctly. You know, I don't have good memories about military rule though, so that's my own take there. You know, I'm just pissed that these African leaders have gotten us to this place where they are greed, and because they are puppets. The problem is that they are puppets. They don't care. They don't put the interest of their people first. That is my problem. They are puppets to these people because they promise them to be billionaires. So they choose to look away from their sins. If I remember, the last time Nigerians were taken care of was the last military regime. You think so? Really? Which one was the last? Was that not Abacha's regime was the last military rule, if I'm correct? right? Is it Abacha? Yeah, I don't know about that. Atlantic. I don't want to romanticize the military rule though. Eh? All of them to me, they are the same. They are the same. No, don't say that. Abacha's loot. Omo, we use sawdust cook. What, are you kidding me? Sawdust. I remember. There was no petrol, there was no kerosene. Everything was no. Not even lie, forget. No. Me judiciary just do the right thing. Now that one concern me right now, to be honest. Let the judiciary do what the right thing. That's all I care about right now. Let them do the right thing. See this military, I don't, I'm not even going to romanticize them. Forget, you know.
There's a saying, like birds flock together. There's another one, show me your friends and I will tell you the kind of person you are. Going by the ministerial nominees, it is obvious the kind of person Tinubu is, the kind of people that are his associates, and the kind of people he prefers to work with. One of the ministerial nominees, this lady, Stella Okotete, was accused at the time she was appointed to the Nexim Bank board. Many accusations from falsification of documents to monumental fraud. But she's not the focus of this video. The focus is on Danladi, who was disqualified by the Supreme Court in 2019 for certificate forgery and lying under oath. Yes, the same Supreme Court saved him when he was impeached by the Taraba House of Assembly as the deputy governor of Taraba State. They returned him as the deputy governor and he became the acting governor in the absence of the governor, who, of course, you know, he had an accident. So it shows that the law is actually no respecter of persons, that if you are in the wrong, the law will catch up with you. But if you are in the right, you will be spared by the same law and, of course, the justices. In Danladi's case, he forged a certificate and lied about his age under oath. And when he appealed to the Supreme Court, the honorable justices that heard the appeal included the current Chief Justice of Nigeria. It was a unanimous judgment. They sacked him, said that the appeal lacked merit, and they declared that APC had no governorship candidate in Taraba State in 2019. As a result of that judgment, the Taraba State government moved to gazette the judgment so that the consequences will take effect, meaning that Danladi will be banned from contesting for any position for 10 years, starting from the date of the gazette. It's not clear if the Taraba State government eventually raised a white paper which would have banned Danladi from contesting any election for the next 10 years. Also, it's not clear if they charged him for perjury, because since the Supreme Court already held that he lied under oath and falsified his age, that's perjury. Now, when you look at what Danladi faced, what he was accused of before he went up to the Supreme Court, it's quite similar to what Tinubu is being accused in front of the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal judges. And definitely, whatever verdict the tribunal judges arrive at, the losing party will still appeal to the Supreme Court. So the same issues that the Chief Justice of Nigeria heard in 2019 will still come up at the Supreme Court in 2023. So how is he going to react? How is he going to decide? Danladi was accused of forging a certificate. The Supreme Court agreed. He was also accused of falsifying his age and lying under oath. The Supreme Court also agreed. In Tinubu's case, he is accused of forging his certificate. The tribunal is yet to deliver judgment. He is also accused of lying under oath because he lied about his dual nationality. The tribunal is yet to pass a verdict. It will eventually get to the Supreme Court. So how will the CJN decide on the matter? He might not participate in the 5-man panel that will hear the appeal. It's not a must. It is his prerogative. He might just appoint 5 different justices to hear the appeal. But bear in mind that 2 current Supreme Court justices were also in a panel of justices that disqualified Saleh because he forged the certificate. We covered this case, the case of Abba versus Saleh. Saleh forged a certificate like Danladi. and the two were all disqualified. So what it means is that we already have 3 Supreme Court justices who participated in past judgments where they disqualified candidates based on forgeries of certificates. Also, this is just one of the many baggages that Tinubu is facing, and the current Chief Justice of Nigeria was part of the panel of justices that decided the celebrated case of Abacha versus the Federal Republic of Nigeria, where he declared that forfeiture is a result of a crime, that if there is no crime, there will not be a forfeiture. We've covered this extensively in many videos. Let's not get deep into it.
Did you know you can pee out blood sugar? It's a brand new method people are using to achieve healthy A1C levels, but less than 5% of people even know about it. Most people continue to take blood sugar medications.
Many people might be saying, don't get overboard, don't overreach yourself, don't pass the judgment, allow the justices to do their work. But there's one thing they forget. When a man is caught red-handed doing a crime, evidence abound. The verdict is always 100% predictable, except Nigeria happens. Yes, if nothing passes under the table, it is 100% predictable. Not just this case alone. Normally, when police wants to prosecute someone for a crime, they need to conduct a mini trial in the prosecutor's office or the state attorney general. They will need to make sure that they have all the evidence to win the case in court. If they see something that is lacking, the police needs to get them. They need to patch up the case, make sure they can prove it 100% beyond reasonable doubt that truly the person committed the crime. That's when they will now take him to court. That's how it works. And it will be 100% predictable because the evidence is there. You look at what the person did, you look at what the law says, it's in black and white, just like the forgery. It is written there, not in the Electoral Act, but in the Constitution itself. It is one of the grounds that someone who is aspiring to become the president of Nigeria, if he forges a certificate, he is automatically disqualified. It is there in black and white, no ambiguity. So it should be 100% predictable if Nigeria or anything does not pass under the table. And even if something is passing under the table or is about to pass, they will need to make a lot of explanations on all the grounds for disqualification. This certificate forgery, the narcotics proceeds worth $460,000 he forfeited to the US government, his invalid nomination as the presidential candidate of the APC, occasioned by his failure to appoint a new vice presidential candidate 14 days after the placeholder withdrew. And after eventually appointing a new VP candidate, Shettima did not correctly withdraw his prior nomination as a senatorial candidate in Borno Central Senatorial District, thereby committing a double nomination offense. Also, there's the issue of his dual nationality, which is not a crime by itself, but the Constitution frowns at someone who wants to become a president willfully taking up the nationality of another country. Yes, before someone is given a passport of a country where he wasn't born, he must swear an oath of allegiance to take up that citizenship. And not just the oath of allegiance to another country, which is already against the law, but he still went ahead and lied about it in his INEC form. There's also the issue that will cause the invalidation of his declaration. The issue of 25% in Abuja, he didn't score that. So with all these, you can see how high the mountain is for anyone who wants to subvert justice to climb. So it is very easy to predict. Everything is in black and white. Nigeria will not happen this time around because the stakes are too high. This will determine the future of this country going forward. All of us will have to live with the outcome going forward. And no matter how highly placed you are in the Nigerian society, you can never escape happenings in Nigeria. Even if you're a big man and wealthy with a fleet of cars, you can never escape the bad road on your way to the airport. You can never escape the insecurity challenges. You can never escape the inflation. On 28th of May 2023, the price of petrol per liter was still less than 200 naira. But on the 29th of May, the price more than doubled. As a matter of fact, the price has since tripled. All these we have done without considering the fact that petrol drives Nigeria's economy. So none of us will escape happenings in Nigeria. Isn't it better that we put our hands together and build a country that works for every one of us? No matter how highly placed, no matter how lowly placed, no matter your earning power, the country must work for you. So it will be interesting to see the outcome of the presidential election petition at the Supreme Court, considering that 3 justices, including the current CJN, were involved in similar cases before. Will they overrule themselves because of one man? Or will they follow the precedents they already set by disqualifying the candidate? Thanks for watching.
Hey, somebody just posted uranium. I was just talking about it just now. Niger Republic uranium is what the whole world are hustling right now. I'm telling you guys, that is what they are hustling. That is why you see they don't put action quickly. They condemn. Because without uranium, France will be in the dark. Will be in the dark ages. May they not use force, so may they not just use, may they just leave those people jeje. For Nigeria, na our neighbor na be Niger. Because they no go fit watch this film finish. So I beg, I no pray for chaos. I do not pray for chaos. When you don't do the right thing by people, this is what happens. Somebody just said, if ECOWAS becomes successful in reversing the coup in Niger, then Africa can be proud of itself. For where who go listen to am? Who go listen to am? Meanwhile, Julius Malema is looking likely. President of South Africa, see crowd. Omo, that man na force on him own. Even though I hear say he contributed in Nigerians chopping pepper when they do Nigerians anyhow, was partly responsible. That's what I heard. You know. Ah, God. African leaders, they will never learn. Eze, you are begging. You say, may they come to our aid and restore our mandates. Oh my God. You think when they come, they're going to restore the mandate? Or you think they're just going to, because you know that they're seeing a lot of these people as puppets. You know, right, Eze? You know that they see them as the Western puppets. I think that's the grievance they have. They're puppets. They don't do anything for the people. You know, all these Western countries have military bases all over Africa. You know, a lot of people are not happy about that. A lot of people are not. You can't be safe in your own country with all the Boko Haram where they happen for Nigeria and all the corners. All these people, they know now. Why haven't they done anything? Because they take the resources for free. For free. I don't know. I mean, I'm not for military takeover. That I don't, because my memories of the military is not fun. I can't begin to romanticize it. Look, we hear wetin una papa talk, Baba Blue. They say he talk something today for ECOWAS. It's just 3 minutes. Oh, I can't stand this their channel. I beg, no. I change my mind. Na TVC, I'm not gonna give them. Oh my God. Hey, it's a shame. African leaders have finally brought us here. Is it not a shame? It's a shame. You can't even take care of your own people. Look at people stealing money. looting the where. See where they go put food. Okay, when I get all this food for warehouse, why do you people leave these people to be hungry? Nítorí Ọlọ́run, why? And this man is now declaring 24-hour curfew. It's just crazy to me. Ah, God, the wickedness of these politicians is not here. Oh, it's not here. It's just a shame. I'm looking at everything. I'm just wondering where as African politicians, what goes through their minds? Is it just about acquiring and acquiring and acquiring without doing anything for your people? We have all the resources in Africa. Why can't we just make ourselves self-sufficient and stop relying on other people? Why? Why can't we just do that? Why can't we look inwards? Wetin be grain? We have rice. At least in growing up, I knew there were people that were rice farmers. They used to harvest bags and bags of rice. I remember. I saw it growing up. Why can't we have our own food, develop our own energy, everything? We have enough sun. If not solar, we have enough sun. Thank you very much, Isaiah, for the super sticker. I appreciate it. You know, we have enough sun. We have enough land, fertile land, to plant foods that we all the Africans that we can eat and sell to each other. There used to be trade by barter. There were no borders at that time. People could trade from place to place without any problem. Even as an African, you can't even travel within Africa easily. That's how bad it is. Is this how much we detest each other? And we're talking about African Union. How can an African Union work when the borders are not free for its own people? You can't cross from one border to the other. You're having Africa. How do you want to unionize? How? African Union is nothing but a puppet of the West. It's just an extension of it. They tell them what they need to do. African Union don't think about their people. The same thing with ECOWAS. Look at it now. ECOWAS, they talk to US, UN before they fit do what they need to do among themselves. Is this not supposed to be a family affair where you're so okay, why not do this thing? Okay, address it however way you need to address it. No, but you have to involve outsiders that they don't like you anyway in the first place. They are wishing that all of you will be wiped out the face of the earth. It's the same people that people are coming to call to come and help you resolve family issue. And you call yourself ECOWAS and you call yourself African Union. We never start. We are not ready. We are not ready at all. We are not. We are just deceiving ourselves. What kind of leaders? Kind of leaders are these? Are these leaders? Are these leaders? They are not. Leaders that people don't listen to. Even the people that came into power by themselves, they were not elected. Most of them imposed themselves. Most of them, after they keep extending their rule, after 4 years, they add 6, they add some, they rule 20 years, 40 years, they don't they rule. For 40 years, you don't rule country, you not see what you not see what you do for your people, you not impact them in any way. And some of them want to make it a lifetime thing where they will just keep going and going and going, keep ruling. Nobody will talk to them. Nobody, they will not be answerable to anybody. Then when they leave, they hand over to their son. They want to turn it into a monarchy. Only in Africa. Not be everybody, not being capital, not being democracy they work for, because we don't know what democracy be. If democracy is done correctly, there should be systems and structures in place that will deter people. That will deter people from looting and self-imposing. But there are no systems in place. There's nothing in place. And you expect the people to just keep quiet and look at you people continue to loot for free and loot their future, loot. Parents, grandparents, great-grandparents have left the soil without accomplishing their purpose because of the systems that were created. And you people want those same, you want the children to continue, the great-grandchildren. It's not happening. It's not going to be possible. Judiciary, now na hand e come dey o. If una like, make una do the right thing. If una like, make una not do the right thing. Now sit down look the monkey business. One day monkey go go market, e no go come back. No matter the pressure that you're going through, that they are putting you under, DSS and the likes of them, omo, you better do the will of the people o. It's not going to be the same. It's not going to fly under the radar like that. Do the right thing. The evidence is clear. Everybody can see it. There's no way you can twist the grammar. You have smart children, brilliant children. They are ready to push back. You cannot take them for granted anymore. Not only few people at the top. Now you need to choose whether you want to fear the few people in front of you that are pressurizing you, or you want to fear the over 200 million that are waiting for you, that are waiting for the decision, because nobody is going to go free in this one. You will not be sheltered. The only time you're going to be sheltered is if you do the right thing. Yeah, that's true. I agree. It's true that they're changing. It's not, of course, it's not this is not democracy they're practicing. It's democracy, right? Right. They want to change the narrative, they want to change it, and I don't blame them for it. But it's just that my own experience of military rule was not fun. Was it not military rule that strike started, where people started staying at home months, you miss semesters, years from school? It was during military now. I don't have good memories about military rule. You understand? That's the only problem I have. Maybe this one will be different. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. If they don't cause, if these other outside forces don't put too much pressure and cause fights that none of them can handle. You understand? Because Bubu came out yesterday, he's talking. Bubu is not a homeless man. Shebi say if they don't allow him to rest in Daura, he will run to Niger. Nah, Niger, no way for him. If he reach there, they fit wan arrest and join the bazoon. So I'm in support of them fighting for their own change, so that they can live peacefully and have enough to eat. I'm in support of that. We'll see how it plays out now. Shebi the news is still coming out, and they are doing ECOWAS and AU, African Union, that is a Western puppets. They are running up and down, jumping from one tree to the other. We'll see how it goes. My own be saying Nigeria judiciary, may they do the right thing. May they do the right thing. There's nothing to fear. They either fear the few people. I don't care whether they belong in any cult or not. They either fear the few people in front of them, or they fear the wrath of the more than millions of people that are waiting for them, because they're not going to go free. They have the opportunity now to turn this whole nonsense around, to change the narrative. They have the opportunity to do that. If they don't change the narrative, guess what? It will be their undoing. How much do they want to bribe them with? Even if they give you the whole world, at the end of the day, everybody else suffers for it. You collect the money, you don't enjoy it. What's the point? If you want to save the sanctity of the judiciary, then they must do the right thing. The judiciary must do the right thing. That's the only thing that we're hanging on in Nigeria now. They cannot delay the judgment forever. So we wait. We continue to wait until they give the judgment. That's when they will know. Because this is not funny anymore. It is no longer funny. Every country in Africa is agitating because they're tired. They're tired of the influences, the negative influences, the Western impositions. They're tired of it. Everybody's tired. They're pushing back. People are hungry. People are buying on top of hunger. People are not saving their homes. They can't go to their farms. They're tired. Africa is tired. Everywhere they're agitating. So judiciary better do the right thing. If they want to have peace in their homes, they better do the right thing and not consider the threats of very few people or DSS pressure or whatever pressure that is happening. They need to focus and do the right thing and set this country in the right direction. Take it and steer it back to land because it's about to sink. It's already sinking almost to the ground. That's all I'm going to say for now, Biko, my people. I just came here for the rant. Looking at everything that's going on in Africa, I'm like, man, I gotta just come and share some of this thing because I don't understand. Everywhere in disarray, everywhere don't scatter. Eh? Anyway, my people, thank you very much for being with me. I appreciate you guys. I'll definitely see you guys on my next one. Please, if you're on Twitter, use your hashtag. Judiciary, all eyes on the judiciary. Disqualify Agbado, disqualify Tinubu now. He must go back to Iragbiji or wherever he comes from, or go back to Guinea. Please, let's keep the push going. Let's keep our eyes on the judiciary. No hiding place for them. We must get our country back because this is not looking good. Everywhere in Africa is agitation. And then also let's pray for the peace of Africa because man, it's not looking good at all. Thank you very much, guys. I'll see you guys on my next one. Happy Sunday. And thank you so much, Isaiah, for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.